live stream lectures. And before I get into today's very exciting, important lecture, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters, my subscribers, everyone for supporting my channel. And my channel will not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's very important lecture, which is zero debt. Zero debt. And I'm going to kind of really break that down and really explain that, you know, no matter what your situation is, there are always going to be a certain types of bills we'll always have in terms of cell phone bills, utility, food, insurance. That's just a given. But my lecture about this in terms of zero debt. And, you know, I've had zero debt now more aggressively, I would say, for about the past 4 or 5 years, but down to zero is zero. When I literally go on my credit report, it literally says zero debt. August of 2023 is when all debt that I had really became zero. And what I mean by that is, you know, August of 2023, you know, if the audience is aware, I was under the federal student loan forgiveness program, and I will never forget this. I was on vacation. August of 2023, I got my notification from Fed Loan. At the time, Mohela, they transferred to Mohela, and they sent me that piece of paper saying that the remaining balance of your federal student loan, because I went back to school later in life to get my master's degree, and that was the only piece of paper I was waiting on before I could retire. I got that letter saying the remaining balance of your federal student loan, you know, you met all of the requirements. The remaining balance of your federal student loan in the amount of $72,000+ has been wiped out. And when that occurred, Mohela, the federal student loan service provider, alerted all of the major credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, to wipe out that $72,000 that was showing on my credit report. So now when I look at it, it shows zero. So it's a powerful thing when you have reflecting across your credit report. When I was showing my niece this today, you know, I was showing my niece today, when I pull up my credit report information, it literally has debt. If you look at your own credit report, whatever debt you have, it is going to show on your credit report. Well, if you have credit cards, it's going to show. If you have collections, it's going to show. If you have student loans, it's going to show. If you have personal loans, it's going to show. If you have an auto loan, it's going to show. If you have a home loan, it's going to show. Boat, car note, whatever, all of that debt will show on your credit report, for real, for real. And it's going to also indicate the balance. I'm talking real talk. So I was literally having a conversation with my niece, who's pretty smart, common sense. And when I literally showed her my credit report, and it literally had on my credit report debt. It literally had the big fat word letter number zero, meaning zero. I owe no debt. Zero. Credit card, zero. Collections, zero. Student loans, zero. Because remember now, prior to August of 2023, it would have shown for student loan a balance of $72,000, people. But now I literally showed my niece where it showed the prior balance of $72,000 on my credit report. Then it reflected the updated balance, zero. Ain't playing. Personal loans, zero. Auto loan, zero. Home loan, zero. And my niece literally looked at my zero debt. And my niece literally said, typically you will see zero like that in someone who's like maybe 18 years old, not someone who's been in the workforce all of their adult life and in full retirement, and you got zero. That's power, people. That is power to look at all of that, and my debt literally shows zero in all of those areas. So what that does for this minimalistic content creator, all of the money I make now is disposable income, other than for what I pay for a cell phone bill or utilities and food or what in insurance. So I have so much disposable income because it literally says debt zero. And it's been reflecting that for years, but we're most recently school loan zero as of August of 2023. So I say that to say, when your debt to income ratio is so phenomenal, or better yet, zero debt, and then whatever your income is, you have got to use that disposable income to continue to build your financial portfolio, to continue to invest. That's power, people. I was on my debt-free journey years before I retired. The last 3 or 4 years of my working life before I retired, I was literally getting a paycheck every single 2 weeks, my paycheck from my state job, and I wasn't even touching that money because I was already debt-free at that stage of the game in my life. So I was just reinvesting my check. So when I retired, and it's still at zero, especially now since the federal government zeroed out the remaining balance of my master's degree in the amount of $72,000. And literally they sent me a letter saying, you know, you have met all the requirements under the federal student loan, so, all the requirements. So now what we're going to do, they sent me a letter saying, now the remaining balance of your master's degree in the amount of $72,000 has been wiped out. I framed that letter. And also in that letter, the federal government let me know that we are going to alert Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian to let them know that that $72,000 that I will historically have saw on my credit report, we're going to alert them so they can zero that out. And they did. So now when I go into looking into my credit report, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, it literally says zero. And also in that powerful letter that the federal government sent me, because historically when you get a debt canceled, I don't care if it's a credit card debt, school loan debt, the federal government is going to tax you on the amount that was canceled. So you're talking about $72,000. But in that powerful letter that the federal government sent me, they said because of these federal laws, you are not going to be taxed on that $72,000 that was zeroed out. So I showed that letter to my CPA to let him know, don't tax me on this $72,000 because according to the federal government, you're not taxing these student borrowers who went under the loan forgiveness program. So you better believe I showed my accountant that letter when I filed my taxes at the end of 2023. And also in that powerful letter that the federal government sent me, they told me for, I don't know how I did this, in 2012, which I don't even remember, no 2012, they told me that I overpaid in 2012 by 14 payments on top of my regular payments. So we owe you a refund of $8,000. So a little bit after I got that letter, I'll go to my mailbox. There was a refund check in the amount of $8,000, in addition to them zeroing out the $72,000. And also during COVID time, I don't know if you all remember, the federal government paused student loan payments. But if you were in the federal student loan forgiveness program, when they paused it and payments were zero, those zero payments still count towards my loan forgiveness. So the last 3 years of my federal student loan monthly payment, they sent me a bill for zero for 3 years. And then they turned around and zeroed out the $72,000. Then they turned around and sent me a check for $8,000. Then they sent me a powerful letter to alert my CPA, don't tax Marie Holiday on the $72,000 that was zeroed out. So I'm telling you people, if you have a federal student loan, you need to get your behind in that federal student loan program and make sure you do everything that you need to do so you can qualify for loan forgiveness. So when I got that $72,000 zeroed out August of 2023. I will never forget this because that's all I was waiting on to retire. Literally, the next business day, I went to HR on my job and put it in for my retirement because I was not going to enter retirement owing $72,000. That's a lot of money. And the rest is history. So I say this to say, you need to make sure, I'm always talking to people in my family, adult people in my family who I know got a federal student loan. Pay attention to the detail. So this set the stage for now. All the debt I have in the rural people is zero. And I'm going to keep it that way. That's power. So I can continue to reinvest my money. So my income far exceeds my debt. You can't get no lower than zero. Really? Like my niece was telling me, the only people who will have a zero debt is a child in high school, not somebody in retirement. Somebody in retirement, been in the workforce for 30, 40 years, probably got mortgages, a second mortgage, credit card, car note, school loan. Yeah, school loan. I've been at zero, people, for years. This is real talk. And I don't know too many people who can reinvest 100% of their retirement income to continue to build their wealth, people. This is real talk. This is real talk. I will never forget when I got that powerful letter from the federal government when they alerted me that the remaining balance of your master's degree, better yet, I got 2 master's degrees. The remaining balance of your master's degree has been wiped out. You owe nothing. And throughout that process, I made sure I renewed all my paperwork. I stayed on top of my paperwork because you got folks now with those federal student loans. The pausing of those loan payments has been lifted. So now folks got to start paying those student loan back. But I tell them, get into the loan forgiveness program because this thing is real. That's $72,000, people, I did not have to pay. That's a lot of money. So I can take that $72,000 and continue to invest into my financial portfolio and keep this thing moving. So I'm telling you, it is power when your debt is zero. So you can continue to build your emergency savings account. I can remember the early part of 2024. Yeah, the earlier part of 2024, because you're going to always get unexpected bills. I had an unexpected bill in January, I think earlier part of this year, in the amount of $10,000. I paid that unexpected bill in 2 business days. And the reason why it took me 2 days to pay off a $10,000 unexpected bill, because I had to call my bank to find out what was the highest amount that I can debit from my account to clear up this $10,000. And the bank told me the highest amount you can do in one transaction is $5,000. So it took me 2 business days to pay off an unexpected bill in the amount of $10,000. And that unexpected bill that I paid off in the amount of $10,000 in 2 days, I'm going to turn around and file that on my business expense so I can recoup some of that money. It's about business, people. It's about business. So now, since my debt is so low and my income far exceeds my debt, then I'm going to focus on now just traveling the world, people, to go see the 7 wonders of the world. Next month, I'll be in Italy and Rome. I'm going to do a lot of live footage over there. Check out a lot of my live footage when I went to Cairo, Egypt, December of 2023. A lot of that live footage was breathtaking. To be able to ride on the biblical Nile River, to walk inside of those Giza pyramids, to walk inside of the Valley of the Kings, to walk inside to see King Tut, Ramsey 1 through 9, and to be meeting people from all over the world. That is life-changing, people, and to be able to do it debt-free. This is real talk. Nobody could ever told me from 2007 to 2012 when I was living in financial destruction. No one could have told me I would be having this conversation right now today. The blueprint is simple. The blueprint to financial freedom is simple. And the key thing is you got to shift your mindset, people. If you don't shift your mindset about money, it ain't happening. I can tell you that right now. I have a lot of conversations with my niece. She's savvy, smart, and she's sucking up all this knowledge because my niece told me when she get my age, she want to be financially free. And it's possible because I didn't start my financial free journey into my mid-40s. So I within a 10-year time frame, I had accomplished my feat in terms of building my financial portfolio financial freedom, and the rest is history. I paid off a 30-year mortgage 20 years early, people. 20 freaking years early, I paid off my mortgage. Who do you know does that? So again, there's power in zero debt. And I don't even know if I can get it this low. I'm trying to figure out ways to get it below zero. That's my game plan. My game plan is to get my debt below zero. I don't even know if that's possible. But it looks really good. And when I showed my niece this, she said she ain't never seen nothing like this before. Not from no full-grown adult. Who not from no full. You will see this in a child credit score. But you ain't gonna see this in a person in retirement or in the 20s or the 30s or the 40s or the 50s or even older. You ain't gonna see no zero. You're gonna see some credit cards. You're gonna see some collections. You're gonna doggone show see a whole bunch of school loans. You're gonna see personal loans. You're gonna see car note. You're gonna see mortgage. You're gonna see evictions. You're gonna see medical. You ain't gonna see no zero. You ain't gonna see no zero in a full-grown adult. I'm here to tell you, this, people, is power. When you got zero, you don't need no credit because you're constantly building your emergency savings account. You're building your financial portfolio. You're reinvesting your dividends. So there's no need for credit cards. I ain't owned a credit card since 2012. Don't believe that myth that you got to have a credit card to raise your credit score. I hadn't owned a credit card since 2012, and my credit score is rising and rising and rising, 800 plus and still rising. And I ain't owned a credit card since 2012. So don't believe the myth that you need a credit card to build your credit score. That is a myth. I'm living evidence. You better yet, I got rid of the credit cards. The credit cards bring the credit score down. Because most people might send out on those credit cards, might send out on their credit cards, the debt foresees the income, so then they're risk. They ain't no better to get no loan anyway. They ain't no better to get no more credit cards anyway, but they become a risk factor when you look at that debt to income ratio. And that's real talk. And I talk about that in my book, Awake Financial Freedom. When in 2012, early parts of 2012, there was a strategy I did. There was a specific strategy I did literally to raise my credit score from a 340 to an 800 within less than 11 months. There was a specific strategy plan I did to do that. I didn't pay nobody to do it. I didn't have to read about anything on how to do it. No, once I had that spiritual battle with God, God gave me the skills to do something strategic to raise that credit score. And the rest is history. So share this information. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.